in the rehearsing, it does allow me to vocally have a little bit of fun when I play a show. Because I'm more relaxed, I have more access to the range of my voice. So if I'm relaxed because I rehearsed a lot, then on the show day, I get to sing with my full voice that I've been singing with when I rehearse, because there's no tension, because I know I'm going to get through this without making mistakes.
Hey friends, welcome to the Sour Notes podcast, the podcast where musicians get curious about their inner critic, self-doubt, and the darker side of the creative process that we don't often hear about. I'm your host, Roxanne Potvang. I'm a singer-songwriter and a lifetime sufferer of my own inner noise. And every other week, I invite artists to share their stories and insights on this somewhat inconvenient reality. Today's guest is Leanne Hoffman, a Nova Scotia-based multi-disciplinary artist, songwriter, and producer. In this episode, we talk about navigating intense bouts of performance anxiety and allowing time to let us grow and gain experience. Hi, Leanne Hoffman.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
We were deconstructing the world before we started recording the podcast. So we've gone around a lot of different topics already.
Figured nothing out.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's hard to do. But welcome to the Sour Notes podcast.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. Since we've talked about so many things already, I'm just going to jump right into the music questions. What was a defining moment that made you want to be a musician?
I don't know. Honestly, this isn't a very good answer, but I think it was more of an elimination of not wanting to do other stuff. From high school, I moved to Halifax to go to Dal to study science. And then I slowly hated that more and more. And I was writing songs in my dorm room that were bad songs, but when I'd walk to school, I would listen to music. And I would daydream about being on the other side of the thing. Mm-hmm. So that's a good, and I can't even think of a single artist. I could think of many, but it wasn't necessarily about someone's career. It was the feeling that I had walking to school and listening to music, and how, I feel like the peak of hope of the peak dreaming moments for me in my life have been daydreaming whilst listening to something that's really great, you know, or looking at art, or what, taking in art and feeling like life is so cool, or this is amazing, or forcing my mom to listen to a one lyric in a song that I discovered and being like, isn't this so cool?
Yeah.
The moments as a kid being really inspired, I think you just have many of those over a lifetime, and it's sucks you in, fills the cup enough that you're like, I could keep going, and then you do, and
it's the natural instinct to, when you hear something that gives you so much good feeling, it's the natural instinct to want to give that back.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, maybe it is just that, wanting to be a part of the making of those things. Or maybe also wanting to be able to create those feelings for yourself.
Yep.
Have it come from inside, maybe. I don't know. It was definitely a long path to being like, I'm an artist for a living. I think I really dabbled in other life possibilities for a long time, and still do. Because
it never ends.
You never know when, you're gonna have to change your career path.
Yeah, and following your curiosity.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of that, I guess?
Yeah, I think there's no, or I'd like to believe this. My mom always says this, anytime I'm panicking about the future and saying things like, I'm gonna have to go to a whole other job because I'm never gonna be able to afford blah blah blah, or blah blah blah. And she's like, I went back to school when I was 50. Like, she owned a bookstore and then decided she wanted to be a teacher and just, like, changed everything pretty late. Not late because I feel like that doesn't 50 doesn't sound old to me, and maybe it was in her maybe she'd listen to this and think maybe she'd be offended by my inaccuracy of time. But it felt like,
Later.
later.
Yeah. I love that.
She switched everything up.
I love that you had that role model.
Yeah, me too, and both my parents have always been like, "Yeah, do the thing that makes you happy."
Yeah.
So I could see myself shifting into other things, but I think at this point, I'm like, it's always gotta be some type of or I need even if I have to go to a regular job, I think I would like to keep art in some way because it feels important.
Mhm.
I don't know.
What feels important about it for you?
Mm, I guess some things feel like they can only be expressed alternatively, like words maybe don't do it alone, or sound doesn't just do it alone, or visual stuff. Like I just feel like there's so many angles from which you can try and say a thing to someone or to
Mhm.
yourself. And like every song you write or every painting you paint or film you make, I think is just we're all just attempting to like shrink the gap between what we feel and what we mean, like how we say something.
Mhm.
I feel like art's like that, like everyone's just trying to say what they really mean.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't know. When people ask, "Would you do it if no one
Mhm.
like could receive it or hear it or see it or whatever?" And sometimes I think no, but then other times I feel deeply like yes because it
Mhm.
feels uh important to me, but I think the importance is the feeling close to other people or
Mhm.
feeling close to feelings maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. It is interesting. That's a great question in general that we all, but I feel like I could ask myself more often because it brings you back to the importance, which feels really easy to like muddy up.
Mhm.
So that's a nice thing to ask yourself regularly, I think.
Mhm. What muddies it up
Mm.
most of the time for you?
Uh, I think just like doubt for all the external reasons. Too many options, too many ways to go, too many thoughts, too many
Mm.
feelings, and then the other group of stuff, which is like money, like wanting stuff to do well. So
Mhm.
like wanting it to be received well and thinking about trends or what other people are doing or what
Mm.
seems cool or what people are gonna like or what I'm gonna like and all of the little things. Like I find I get like 2% into an idea or a project or whatever, and I'm already like editing. Like I am critiquing too early often.
Yeah. Do you have a sense of when you started noticing your inner critic or the self-doubt? Like, was there a context or
I mean, I think as far as I can remember, but that definitely is my like mental health. Like I think I've
Yeah.
been mentally unwell since I was a child,
Okay.
to be honest. So pretty like I can think of really early memories of feeling pretty critical of myself.
Yeah.
But and as far as like in music,
Yeah.
I think as soon as I started going to school for it, because it's the more you learn, the more you know, the more you realize
You don't
the
know.
difference between where you're at and where you want to be.
Yes.
I went to Berkeley after COVID or during COVID because I wanted to do something, and I while at school had like the worst bout of performance anxiety that I've ever had. I think I've always been anxious and nervous to perform, but while in this program, I hit like a crazy new level where I couldn't sing anymore. Like I went and got physically like camera down my throat, tested for stuff because I thought I had like developed some sort of nodule or something. Like I could not sing in front of people. It was so bad. I was freaking out. And so I couldn't do exams with other people. I couldn't all my tests I had to take them in a separate room, like even the active written tests. Like I was just so tightly wound and nervous about failing.
What was like the manifestation of the not being able to sing for you? It was just like what was that? Because my experience with that
Yeah.
was that before it happened, when I sang, it felt very connected and it felt very like there was a deeper connection to myself.
That's nice. Yeah. Yeah.
In singing than there was in speaking. For example.
Totally. That makes sense.
And then when I started experiencing really bad performance anxiety when I was like 25, I had a moment where I went out on stage and I opened my mouth to sing and it felt like I wasn't singing. It felt like I was disconnected from myself.
Dissociated.
Like I was just singing.
Yeah, yeah.
My mouth and I was making sound, but I wasn't there. So I'm just wondering, like, for you, what was that a similar experience or?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, for me, when I was at Berkeley, the feeling was that there was something physically wrong because I was just trying so hard to sing.
Yeah.
Like to like make the parts work.
Right.
Like, and that's why I kind of pursued medical advices because like a whole chunk of my range was just not available to me.
Okay.
Although I will say when I was home alone in my own apartment with my own keyboard and my amp and my mic, I would have I would feel free and like the kind of thing that you're describing. And so when I would go to sing in front of people and that whole thing would disappear, it was like, yeah, just not there. It just wasn't present. It felt like like physically tight and like swallowy and bad. And I could hear that it didn't sound the way it normally would. Yeah. And so I was like I was so zoomed in on the problem that it was way beyond trying to like connect with my voice at that point. I was trying to like technique and like I was just trying to find and I was seeing like a vocal therapist on top of my teachers at Berkeley and would see her once a week, and it just it became really frustrating because there was nothing physically wrong, but then I could feel that it didn't feel right, and they were, the speech therapist is trying to get you to like relax and try all these different techniques to relax your vocal cords and then stay that way, and like breathing, and the vocal part of my program was always my lowest grade. And I felt, and I've definitely, even still now, there are times where I'm so nervous and I'm sitting at the piano and I'm pressing the keys and my head's going, do you know what you're about to say? Like, do you know what the next lyric is? And I'm like, no, I actually don't. And then I'm like, okay, well, you have like 2 more beats and then you have to start singing. And then when my mouth opens, what you're saying happens sometimes still, where I'm just like, I'm not in it. I'm like a robot that's making the sounds. Yeah. And that still happens sometimes, but I think I now have way more tools to bring myself back. And I think of knowing that I need to practice to feel comfortable. So when I do get nervous, I don't fuck things up. So I'm like safer in the anxiety. Whereas, when I was at school, I was just so uptight, stressed out. There was no way that I was ever going to get like a relaxed, enjoyable experience out of that vocal program, I don't think. Not because of anyone's like individual fault, like so many helpful, amazing teachers that were really, really kind and like, so kind and caring. But it was never going to happen in that environment, I don't think.
Yeah, I just find that listening to your experience, I find it frustrating just even listening to you talk about it because um, I can relate to what you're saying about the getting up in your head and
Mhm.
and just completely over analyzing
Mhm.
what you're attempting to do and not being able to do it. Um, Yet you're at the you know one of the highest rated music
Right.
schools
Yeah.
in the world,
Mhm.
and nobody there can tell you what the hell's going on. Like,
Yeah.
that just kind of blows my mind.
Yeah. I think of several people were aware that it was stress and, like,
Yeah.
but there's nothing they can really do to
Yeah.
change the environment for me. Just, like, I think the whole concept of being judged for your performance is a difficult place to, like, thrive from, and some people do. So, I
Yeah.
was in lots of different classes and courses and ensembles and where people really thrived, and then you
Yeah.
think again, you go back to, like, "Oh, well, like, this is probably not there's no way this is for me."
Yeah. In that sense, I guess we all have to work with what we got and find
Mhm,
the
mhm,
answers for ourselves.
mhm.
Yeah. I guess in that way, um, that makes it a bit of a lonely path.
Sure.
Um, and but that's also where developing self-awareness is so vital
Mhm,
for
mhm.
anyone trying to do this,
Yeah.
you know. Because yeah, it's true. Nobody's in your head and even if somebody's telling you you're too stressed out, they can't take the stress out of you.
No. No. No, they can't.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Mhm, mhm, yeah.
So, what was the path to building your confidence back up again after Berkeley?
Yeah, I moved back here, and
Mhm.
then I was working on the album that I most recently did with Erin, so I was just, like, back in my own place, not living in my own place, I was living with a roommate, but, like, in a city that I was
Mhm.
used to, among people that I was used to, and I started just playing shows
Yeah.
again, and then, yeah, I think it was just coming back to, like, an environment where I felt less on less adjudicated, I guess?
Yeah.
Like, being out of the school environment, which I
Yeah.
think is pretty sterile and weird. Having someone pay to come see you and then applaud and be like, "Nice," is so different than showing up to, like, a room of 4 people that are there to judge you and tell you whether you're good or not.
Yeah.
And then I think, again, like, therapy and self-care and, like, relaxing, I guess, just,
Mhm.
like, literally releasing tension and then getting to work on the album with Erin and being sort of in, like, a bubble where we both really liked what we were doing, and I felt like the songs were fun and good and cool, and then getting to release those over time and having positive feedback, and then all in that time practicing, like, so much practicing, and then, yeah, finding a new vocal teacher who really, uh, would let me, like, um kinda complain or, like, rant about what the problem was or
Mm.
felt like, and then have her have, like, a really big knowledge of the structure, like, what's going
Mhm.
on inside, and then mostly, I think I was just always breathing poorly.
Okay.
So there was, like, a lack of support like, from my own body,
Yep.
and so I think when I started prioritizing that in practice, but also when I was performing, of taking air from, like, a deeper place, uh, there was more control and you're simultaneously relaxing your body, like, just so many basic things that I think I had kind of skipped over.
Yep.
So learning those and, like, uh, doing it in an environment that didn't feel, um, stressful,
Yep.
and then doing it over a longer period of time and, yeah, just learning, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
understanding and learning in a non-judgmental format
Sure.
where there wasn't, like, a looming deadline of we're here to help you sing so you can pass that exam in 3 months from now.
Right.
Like you can just learn and fail gradually. And yeah, just everything about the environment changed. And so I was more relaxed and then realized nothing had really been wrong with me the whole time. I was just so I was so nervous.
I heard you say in an interview, I
Nice.
I snooped
That's
a little
fun.
bit. I did. That you don't often write for fun, that it's more of an emotional necessity for you. So from what you're saying, does writing get marred in self-criticism, or is it a pretty reliable space for you to connect with yourself peacefully?
You mean like writing without music or just writing?
Just like writing when you need to write. Or, you know.
I haven't generally written for fun. When I think about that, I think about how I have like a huge aversion to jamming.
Yeah.
I put in quotation marks, or like my partner loves music so much. Genuinely, it comes so. It's just he just loves music. He really loves it. Mm-hmm. He loves making it, and he loves sharing it, and he loves all of it. And he'll just wake up in the morning and like play 10 minutes of blues on his like whirly or whatever. And consistently, like since we started dating, wants me to come and just touch any key. It doesn't even have to be in the right key, just like come over beside him and like play. He wants it so badly. And and at the beginning there was like a jokey resistance, and then I had to like sit down and really think about it and talk about why I had such this aversion. And there's so much self criticism. And as a vocalist mainly, I do write on piano and guitar, and I'm not like completely like I have a good theory background and I know stuff. I'm not making it up as I go anymore. I used to, but so I'm not. It's not so much that I'm like I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel like I've never really. That's not been my relationship to music. Of like, it's been so insular.
Like, not a lot of improv going on.
No.
Yeah.
No. And so that's something I've been trying more of, is because many people, him included, but like people, and I'm close to that I trust and, talk about music with, have kind of encouraged me to do more for fun, and fun can mean whatever. So I think they really just mean sit down when you don't have to write a song, when no one's waiting for you to write a song, like do it more often for no reason other than to see what comes out. And that's nice. I've been like, that's better. That feels better. But I don't do it with other people. I'm not looking to jam. I'm never looking to do that. It doesn't feel like the way that I enjoy music right now or ever has been. And I'm not saying that will never change, but I think that fun, I don't not get fun out of the act of doing it, but it does feel more of like a figuring out or like a learning process. Processing. Yeah. Like getting to something.
Yeah.
And then there's like an exploration, and there is fun in the finding a new thing or saying a new thing to a new melody, or like it's all fun.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's all fun.
It's all fun.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not.
The impetus of it isn't necessarily for fun.
For fun. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Because other stuff is fun. And I feel like that type of fun fills the cup, so then I can go sit down and write a song. Honestly, like the living of life is the infrastructure for art making.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Get your fun elsewhere so that you can bring.
But I love that. I'm envious, and I really love like the people that I meet that love music on that level. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like that's amazing. Thank God for those people. It's so wholesome and genuine and really great. I love that. But as a spectator,
But
'cause
doesn't so I wonder, and I might be wrong about this, but isn't the ultimate spoiler of fun in this scenario the inner critic?
Yeah, for sure,
Like,
for
if
sure.
that wasn't a
Yeah.
factor,
Yeah.
would you not be able to sit down next to your partner and be like, blah, 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 blah,
Maybe,
and
yeah.
whatever comes out?
Yeah, yeah, you're probably I mean, any conversation I've had with him or anyone else about it actually, Erin and I
Mm.
have talked about this. I brought this exact situation to her and was like, "What's wrong with me?" And she was really like, came from it from an angle of like everyone creates in different ways, and just because
Yeah.
that's not the way you want to do it doesn't mean that it's wrong or that you don't like. Because my
Absolutely.
thing when I first experienced this feeling was shame.
Yeah.
And so I went to her kind of being like, I feel like a fraud? Because if I don't like music like that, then it kind of means I don't like music. That's what it must mean. It must mean I'm a fraud. If I don't like wake up in the morning and look forward to listening to new songs or playing a 12-bar blues, like it must mean I don't like music. And she, yeah, very kindly and wisely was like, no, everyone experiences it in a different way. And just because you don't want to sit down and solo next to your partner doesn't mean you don't like music.
Or you don't belong there.
Or you don't belong there. But I agree with that, and I think there's something to get over in the shame department of like, because I am a perfectionist, and so pretty much anything I've done in front of people has been thoroughly rehearsed, and that's kind of been true with everything. Like even in moments, I can think of a handful of times where I've showed up to things with the purpose of being like, we're just gonna have fun, we're just gonna like do a thing. Let's just see what happens. And I've been up all night for the past like week rehearsing what my casual version of fun was going to be.
Right.
Cuz I can't like create openly. I have a hard time writing at home when the people that live above me are home. I've never really been able to write openly living with people.
Girl, I relate to so much
Oh,
of
it's
everything
crazy.
you're saying. I'm just saying this if it can make you feel better or whatever. But like, yeah, hard time improvising, no jamming,
No.
no practicing when well, for me, I've had such a hard time living in apartments
Yeah, yeah.
because mortified at knowing that people are hearing me not perform well.
Yeah.
And so how are you supposed to
get better
at
Yeah.
it? Anyway.
So hard.
So yeah, I deeply relate to everything you're saying.
That's nice to know. I'm sure other people do
Good.
too. Like, I think that that's probably, yeah. I also think this is a gentle tangent, but I think in general, I could allow time to just act as time, and I don't need to investigate what's wrong with my dislikes or likes. And
Right.
I can foresee that my life, however long it goes, will not be rigidly not making stuff in front of people.
Right.
But right now, that's how it feels, and I can just let time do its thing.
Yeah, and we get better at things, and everything's a process. Like we get better at dealing with all these hang-ups, and
Totally,
and, time is a good friend in that sense. Even though I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I just wanted to be good at everything right away.
I mean, I still feel that way.
Like,
yeah.
I've kind of chilled out, and no, you know what? That's not true. I have not
feel
chilled
that.
out because when I
not.
started these interviews, I was feeling really shitty about not being good at it.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah, I was like, oh, how interesting. My inner critic is being triggered by my podcast about the inner critic.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Of course. But I think with time you learn about yourself and you learn how to work with yourself better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Short of having some sort of like connection to something spiritual that I can rest. That I guess time is a spirit, like that's a thing to believe in. But yeah, I think there's relief in just being like, this'll soften over time, and I don't need to make every single thing like a personal inner journeying all the time with everything. Certainly not enough money to go to therapy frequently enough to address every single thing that I perceive to be a flaw about myself.
So you say that you're someone that prepares a lot before any performance or any show. Do you find that as you're growing that you're able to leave a little bit more room for spontaneity?
Never spontaneity.
No.
Not in a performance, but actually have been trying to give myself less time actually to prepare.
Okay.
Cuz honestly, just sometimes not being paid enough to be rehearsing day in, day out, a week ahead of a show where I'm getting paid $200.
Right.
I do really want everything to be perfect because it feels like the only way to alleviate the anxiety, the performance anxiety, is to have a really strong base where I can like trust my muscle memory and trust the work that I've put into it.
Yep.
And I think doing that more regularly instead of like cramming before a show where I feel really nervous, and then the act of rehearsing over and over again adds to the nerves.
Yeah.
So I have been trying to shift away from being like, oh, I have a show on the whatever, so I won't be free the like however long before.
Yeah.
Just more confidence in that being going to be okay whether we rehearse 12 times or 4 times.
Yeah.
But I get so much relief in the rehearsal and knowing what's going to happen. And I think in the rehearsing a lot, it does allow me to vocally have a little bit of fun when I play a show because I'm more relaxed.
Yeah.
I have more access to the range of my voice. So if I'm relaxed because I rehearsed a lot, then on the show day, I get to sing with my full voice that I've been singing with when I rehearse because there's no tension because I know I'm going to get through this without making mistakes. So maybe I do a new run that I've never done before, or I change a melody that I've never changed. And that's fun to me.
Yeah.
Is being so relaxed that my voice sounds exactly the way it sounds and feels when I'm alone. And that's kind of like the goal for me is when I perform, I want to feel the way I feel when I'm rehearsing. But at the same time, I don't want it to take up an insane amount of my time because it already takes up so much time. So I do want to be more weary of how much effort is actually needed to like keep up the quality and what I'm asking of other people too. Like, especially with a whole band, they're so busy. Like everyone is busy and they're freelance workers basically. So there is only so much like rehearsing you can ask people to do on their time. Yeah, I think over time I've definitely changed the way I go about being rigid, but I'm still pretty rigid. But I do think we should all aim for like mastery. Like I think we should all aim for perfection.
Yeah.
That's whether if I'm honest with myself, that is what my standard is.
Yeah.
For myself. And I expect that. I expect that from people that are doing a thing. And I don't mean you can't make mistakes. I'm saying you should be aiming to do to like make the highest quality thing that you can in the moment that you can do it. So and that to me means like if you know you have a show or whatever coming up and you actively don't practice at all, to me it feels the same as like being like crazy late for a thing that you had tons of time to. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone makes mistakes. There's accidents. I forget my lyrics sometimes still. I'm late for stuff. I'm so spilly. Like everyone does a thing, but the expectation of hoping to like be your best is what I think we should all aim for. And so I do think that like need or want to feel like this is the best product I can offer, and it's best because I put in time and work.
Yeah.
Is like, I don't think we should be winging stuff.
No, because if you have, I've been very, very, very guilty. I was the opposite of you when I was younger. I was expecting of myself to perform at a very high caliber without putting the preparation in. Like it made no sense. Like it made no sense.
Yeah.
And so it was almost just like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It was like, well, I know I suck because I didn't pull this off. But at the same time, you're like, well, yeah, but you didn't put the work in. And I don't know what was behind that. Like I'm trying to understand the psychology of that, because I know that somewhere in there was a reason for doing that. Like, it was like either like proving to myself that my fear that I'm not good enough is actually real.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that earlier on, like in my first record. And I think Erin would also back me up on this, that I did a lot of complaining about my lack of skill and almost no practicing that skill.
Yeah.
Like I have always felt really self-conscious about the fact that I don't actually know how to play piano. Like I know how to play it enough to write, and I'm learning now over time, and I'm getting better at accompanying myself. But for the longest time, I was really just playing like block chords and some simple rhythms, and I never tried to push that because I was so focused on the song writing and the other stuff. But my biggest complaint consistently was that I didn't feel like I was worthy of being on a stage to present those songs, because even though I felt like the songs were good, anytime I played a show, I felt so shitty afterwards. But I would never spend the time to get better at that thing, and then I would feel bad about being bad. That what you said makes a lot of sense, and I've never really made those two connections before, but I know that self-sabotaging, like I think being afraid of success is like way more intense than being afraid of failure, because the commitment to maybe succeed is way more vulnerable than like when you see people that aren't afraid to fail. It's like nothing for them. The confidence is there. They know if they fail, it has nothing on their self-worth. But when you are like trying really, really hard, you're vulnerably like aiming for success, and your self-confidence isn't like up to the bar that you're at. Succeeding is way scarier.
Yeah.
So if you have a thing to blame it on, like, oh, I'm shitty at piano, so that's why I didn't get X, Y, and Z, or that's why no one liked that show, or that's why I've never become a success, is because I didn't learn how to play piano. So you have a reason for your lack of success, whereas learning actually how to play piano and then putting in the time and the effort and worrying that you might now get better opportunities, and then you have to show up to those new better opportunities over and over and over again, and risk more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
And challenge your self-worth over and over and over again, because success just leads to more success or like opportunities.
Yeah, and being more exposed to
failure,
criticism or failure or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's like lots of ways to keep ourselves from meeting our true potential.
Yeah.
You know, like
even though it's like the thing you might want the most.
Yeah.
But like, so there's a quote I heard, I forget who it's by. Basically, it's like you will always only perform at the level you see yourself. So if your opinion of yourself is I suck, or I can't play piano.
That's as far as you get.
That's as far as you're going to perform.
Yeah.
So you're not going to put the extra time into practice.
Right.
You're not going to do the things that will lead you to go above that bar that you set yourself at, right?
Yeah.
So like changing your perception of yourself,
the inner narrative,
is at the core of your ability to perform to your potential.
Yeah.
You know, because we we all have great potential.
Yeah.
And whether or not we're able to get there is so dependent on our opinion of ourselves.
How you talk to yourself and how
Yeah.
totally. That's the biggest, of course.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue.
Well, it makes sense
think.
when you say it like that, but
Yeah.
like when you're in it, and even when you know it,
Yeah.
well, okay, yeah, great. How do I
Yeah.
change that now?
Yeah, like don't be stressed, kind of.
Yeah, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm gonna love myself more so that I can
live,
be a
laugh,
better...
love it away so you can perform better. Totally. Yeah, it's really difficult. Yeah.
Are there any opportunities you've missed or didn't take because you had too much self-doubt?
I've definitely said no to stuff because I felt mentally unwell.
Yeah.
And I've definitely lost some opportunities. I mean, and I think in hindsight, it all leads to wherever you are, wherever you go, there you are, kind of thing.
Yes.
But yeah, and I can think of moments in my life where I've been really disappointed by an outcome or a lack of opportunity, and I can attribute it directly, or I can fill in the blanks that it was because of my poor mental health.
Right.
And then I can think of times where I have dropped out of something that I thought I was going to be able to do, and then it's creeping up and I'm just like can't get my shit together. Couldn't imagine having to be outward facing in a time where you feel like your insides are like non-existent.
Yeah.
Like just like times of really bad mental unwellness where you're like, I can barely have a conversation with a person that I love, let alone go on stage and play songs for a bunch of people I don't know.
Yeah.
That's insane.
When you talk about your mental health, was it like a burnout or depression or?
Yeah, like depression, anxiety,
Yeah.
personality, confusion, like disordered everything, basically. Maybe there's been burnout, but to be honest, and this isn't, I try to be kind to myself in this narrative. But truthfully, I feel like I lost a lot of time to like just trying to be neutral well.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel like burnout was ever because I was maxed out on trying hard, because I never really could get to what a normal average person's try hard was like, because I was struggling at like a minimal capacity.
Sure.
So I spent a lot of time, even after I got some help, feeling guilty and shameful about how much time I had wasted being unwell.
Right.
So then I look around being like, look at all these people that are excelling and are doing this, this, and this, and this because they didn't waste like 8 years being unwell. It's like an acceptance of like, yeah, I don't have to kid myself and say like, I've always been working really, really hard. I've been working hard in relation to me, but I'm okay to accept that I'd lost a bunch of years because I couldn't like go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't hold a job. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't have a relationship. I couldn't do anything. So it's fine with me to say, yeah, I lost a bunch of time.
Yeah.
And now I'm like making up for it while also still trying not to get burnt out. So I want to maximize how hard I'm working, but I don't want to like experience a true burnout.
Sure.
So I do feel the need to like make sure I have a wide berth around everything that I do.
Yeah.
That's hard. Like wider than maybe other people would think is necessary, but I just know, or I come in and out of knowing what I'm capable of handling, and I don't want to go back to being losing my literal mind.
Right.
I don't even mean that in a hyperbolic way. It's like,
well, setting things up for you seems like the right way to go for anyone, working within your capacity.
Your capacity, yeah.
But yeah, again, it's like the self-awareness is so key.
Yeah.
To not push against your capacity too much or too little for that matter.
Yeah, for sure. And it's hard to find that balance, I think.
It's a balance, yeah.
That's a forever job.
Yeah, exactly. Again, time. This is going to be the theme. Your last album, The Text Collector, that you put out in 2023, was a more pop direction.
Mm-hmm.
And you were sort of hoping that in that change of direction that you were going to be able to use that to have more fun in performance. Did you find that it has helped?
I do. And I think that even now starting to like kind of write again, that's still a goal. Like I think I'm thinking more and more about how it feels to be on stage inside of a song. Yeah. Whether I'm by myself or with a band, like how it feels to be involved in the music and how I can like write songs and then produce songs that feel nice to listen to.
Yeah.
Or move to, even if I wasn't singing. Because I think, just my first album was just so like deliverance based. And I was also really still, really nervous and I didn't move around very much. There wasn't like, the songs weren't written to be like moved to. They were moving, but not like, and I think I wanted there to be more reasons for myself to like enjoy being on stage and like feel less uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And options for there to be visually pleasing things happening that kind of take the pressure off me and options for the band to be more engaged and so it feels less like a job I resent.
Yeah.
And more like something, because when I think about musicians that either I play with or play with many bands, they get so excited to play a show.
Yeah.
And I want to be excited to play.
That's not the case for you. Generally, you're just more dreading it.
I like every time I'm about to play a show, I feel the same wave of like I would truly rather be doing anything else than this right now. And like moments before I start, I feel like I'm dying. Like this is like a TMI situation, but feels like my body's trying to evacuate everything. Like I start to feel sweaty and my like insides churn because they're like, we got to get everything. So I don't eat before. Yeah. Like way before. Like nothing can be inside of me because it'll be coming out. And I every time I'm like, I need to change careers. And then I play the show and I'm done. I'm like, that's fun. And then I book another one. I've compared it to getting like a bikini wax before of like, it's terrible. I don't know why we do that. And then afterwards they're like, do you want to rebook? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. 6 weeks sounds great. Can't wait.
Do you have any pre-show rituals that help you sort of stay kind of
focused
not really.
Or
anything?
No, nothing that
nothing you avoid. You avoid eating.
I avoid eating and like I just drink water and pretty much keep my voice like on all day. Like I warm up really early in the day and then I stay warmed up pretty much all day, like gently. So I guess that's a bit of a ritual. Like I am doing vocal warm-ups beforehand and like bouncing around, like a lot of built up energy and but yeah, nothing concrete that I'm like must do this. No, it will help. Nothing really seems that I've found yet has like helped being around. It's nice to have a band. Like it's nice to be around people because they seem chill. So I'm like, I guess if they're fine, I'm fine. Their job is kind of bigger than mine, to be honest. So yeah. And actually, I am supposed to. I have talked to my therapist about this before. Like changing the language, like it easily body doesn't know different. So easily could be excitement. I could call it
Yes.
excitement. And I feel like tons of built up excitement
Yes,
before
I'm so
every
excited
show.
right
So
now.
excited, I want to die. But I think that since like seeing a vocal teacher here and playing more shows and like time again does the thing. So even when I'm nervous, there's like a another layer of calm that I now have from doing it, feeling or like doing it, having mistakes happen, like tracks cutting out or me forgetting lyrics or like band getting like something happening. Like the worst case scenarios are totally fine. And I
Right.
think that that's like a nice thing to experience too, is
Yeah.
like a failure. We're on podcast, so no one can see that, but
Yeah,
air
quotations.
quotes,
Yeah.
being fine. And
Yeah. Surviving
and
the
yeah,
glitches.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I also see. I get that. I get that people have been doing it for longer and more frequently, have that gentle knowing
Yeah.
that even in the like things you really don't want to happen, it's fine.
What was the worst one?
I mean, I can think back to like so early in my career, which I wouldn't even call it a career yet because I was still finagling, but like
Yeah.
forgetting lyrics in crazy ways. That was like the first thing that would go away when I was nervous, is
Yeah.
my brain capacity to remember my own lyrics. And then in more recent times, like at a Music Week showcase with this record, and just like a collection of errors with tracks.
Yeah.
Piano player couldn't hear count in. At that point, we hadn't communicated like my drummer needs to also count in, even though like just like little things that you don't know are problems until they have a problem.
Yeah.
And then person in charge of starting tracks over having to do that, so it's like really obvious something's happening.
Right.
Just having to restart a song is really what
Right.
I'm expressing, but people hearing the mistake because they're tracks.
Yeah.
And then full room of like me feeling bad, and then the song starts, and then
Here we
you
go.
go on. And I thought about that for like weeks after. I was
Did ya?
so bummed out. I was so bummed out, and I don't even think that anyone would remember that now,
No.
except for myself and my band if I brought it up to them. But that was like a non-issue. I mean, we did talk about it together afterwards of like, that can't happen again. So like, let's fix that
Sure.
issue. And now it's literally never happened again. So
Perfect.
it was fine. It was totally fine.
Yeah.
We've all seen other mistakes happen on stage. And like, I'm like referencing my partner because I think about him a lot, and obviously, and we're together a lot, and like just recently went on this trip together for the same festival. Like we were both playing the same festival. Anyway, I've seen him play enough times where I know when something's going wrong. But anytime something goes wrong with other people, and specifically right now I'm thinking about him, I am not phased even a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take anything away from what happened before or what happens after. And you know, some people are really good at moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
But even the people that aren't, that are like, oh, apologetic or feel bad, or you can tell that they're nervous. It's like, I don't even feel, I'm not mad. I don't feel judgmental. I feel like bummer. Like that's a bummer for
Yeah.
you. But yeah, anytime I've seen little mistakes or larger mistakes, like entire track system cutting out while he's playing to like a full room, it's just fine. It's just always fine.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I was saying this to him the other day, that I could afford to have more of that happen to me.
Yeah.
So I can like desensitize to the fear of it happening. So there's one less thing I'm going on stage worrying about as if would be the end of the world.
Yeah.
I don't know, experience really, which in the grand scheme I don't have a ton of.
Yeah, and I think it's such an important thing to remember, again, coming back to time, that everybody needs to build their skills. Nobody just comes out the gate having their skills like top notch, you know. And that was something that I ran into, a problem I ran into so much. Like even now, I like have this weird expectation that I should be good at something right away.
Mhm.
And I'm like actively working on dismantling that thought now and allowing myself the repeats. So allowing myself the repeats to show myself that that I will improve with the repeats. Because otherwise my attitude would be, well, I'm not good at it, so I'm going to stop doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if you have the expectation up front that is going to take a lot of repeats.
Yeah.
It's just gonna.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more realistic
Yeah.
expectation. Then you can show yourself that with every repetition, and obviously analyzing what you just did, and changing the things that aren't working, and you know, they call that the growth mindset. Right?
Yeah, right.
But so many of us just kind of are stuck in if I'm not good at it right away, then what's the point? The point is that everything takes time.
Yeah, I think about when I think about that, I think about the times where something's come out quickly, and I'm critical of that too. So it's like, even if you were to be good at something right away, I don't think most of us we would be critical of that.
Yeah.
Or at least I am critical of when something comes quickly or naturally. Like if I write a song in one go, I don't trust that, because I'm like, there's no way it can be good because I didn't take any time to work on it.
Yeah.
And then the other side of like, I think about how many things, if I had stuck to, I'd be good at now, but I was so turned off by how bad I was at the beginning.
Yeah.
I just didn't do it. And then you see people that kind of started at the same time at that thing, and you're like, wow, they're really good at that thing now. And it's like, yeah, it's because they kept going when you quit.
Yeah.
It's such a good, like, I guess I'm just saying there's so many examples all the time of how truly the only guarantee way to get good at something is to do it over and over again.
Yes.
That's like the only thing
And
for sure we know.
So simple.
Yeah.
But
same with like mindset stuff too. Like I get kind of tired of going to therapy sometimes, because even when my problems or feelings feel complicated, the answer is always the same, of just like repeating new brain patterns.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, no, there's got to be like a more complicated set of tools or a list of things I should be doing in order to be different. And it's like, no, you just have to change the way you talk to yourself. And every time you do a thing you wish you didn't do it different, and do it different over and over again until you change the way. It's like so annoyingly simple. It's a simple task, but it's not an easy task to do.
It's all very complicated and connected to so many other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately, maybe that's the ultimate goal, is to get to a place where the self-talk is a little bit gentler.
Kinder, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's so much more helpful when you're trying to do anything.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's like the large version of no bad ideas and brainstorming. Just like, everyone deserves that.
You recently announced that you were opening for St. Vincent at Jazz Fest in Halifax, July 20th. Congrats on that.
Thanks.
That's pretty awesome. How are you approaching that show?
Trying to leave a ton of time ahead of time to get it all together, and I feel I'm preparing what seems the accurate amount for me, and maybe some people, maybe my band would feel like this is overkill, but I don't, everyone can set boundaries. So if they're like, no, then I of course would never push, but I'm like setting asking for a lot more time from everyone.
Yep.
And just immediately feeling like, oh, I have to make this a show that stands up to the show that it is, like that it's billed with. Most of it will be songs that we already know really well.
Sure.
So I'm just kind of adding in maybe one or two new things and like an old thing from my first album, and then just rejigging the like order and the way in which people move on stage and the visuals. So it's not a whole new show.
Sure, not trying to reinvent the
Yeah,
wheel.
because that would feel, I think, really stressful. So that's the other thing, is balancing like newness plus stuff that feels good.
Yeah.
And just, immediately trying to dream big and then scale it back to what's reasonable based on money and time. So making it feel like exciting for me, and then over rehearsing so it feels immaculate.
Yeah.
And then just trying not to panic. Try not to panic.
Yeah.
About it. So I do, because the worst thing I find about my own mental health or my inner critic is that if I let it get too bad, then I'm wasting time by freaking out.
Yeah.
And so the biggest outcome of my own meltdowns is that I require like 72 hours to recover.
Right.
So I waste my own time by freaking out. And then I'm kind of chipping away at my own confidence. So I'm just trying to give myself tons of time to make everything feel good and sound good and look good, and then trying to stay calm. And so I've taken a bunch of stuff out of my calendar, trying not to go anywhere, so my nervous system can stay. I'm talking about it like I'm about to like go to the moon, but I want it to go well, so I'm like, I'm going to eliminate any options for me to sabotage me ahead of time, because that's the biggest culprit is me. I'm always saying the call is constantly coming from inside the house. I know is good. And the funniest part about it, I love doing this, is I can't wait for the day after. I'm like so excited. I'm going to feel incredible July 21st. And like, I don't mean that I'm not like thankful for the opportunity, but I know that I'm going to feel like my summer has just begun on July 21st.
You know, when they teach you about managing anxiety and stuff, one of the tricks is think about the day after.
No, I've actually never heard that. Yeah. That's crazy, because I do that constantly.
Yeah. So you're just kind of instinctively doing it. But that's one of the ways to help.
Oh, I love the day after everything. Yeah. Like, I feel like no matter where I am or where, like, we are, like, if we're traveling for Rich's stuff or whatever, I'm constantly like, I'll just in this tone be like, tomorrow? Yeah. You know, like, think about tomorrow. Or he'll look at me and be like, tonight when we're in bed, just like looking at our phones.
Yeah, like a nice moment after the event.
Imagine. Yeah, totally. Can you like imagine that? Or like
yeah, we can use so much of our imagination to make us feel like shit. Yeah. But it's also true for the opposite. You can also use your imagination to make you feel good. So I discovered that during the pandemic, actually. I had this habit. I sort of started doing this thing. I've since stopped, but during the pandemic there were times where I wasn't feeling so great. And
no kidding.
And I sort of started doing this thing while I was brushing my teeth, where I would think about all the little moments that felt good during the day. And
that's nice.
Just doing that kind of like helped just feel those things again.
Yeah.
And it just felt like a nice little mental health moment for myself.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a great thing. I should do that every night.
But so using our imagination for the nice things.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think it's a great idea.
Helpful. I have a Dear Younger Me segment of the show. So
nice.
If you could talk to a younger version of yourself, what would you tell them about the inner critic or self-doubt or anything you've learned over the years? What would you tell them?
Oh, I feel so in it still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm still trying to figure it all out. So giving advice, what I would love to say, I still haven't done. So it's like, it's interesting to look back and be like, oh, care less, worry less, but I still worry maybe the same amount, sometimes more than I did when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think dreaming big is really nice. And I think that if I could tell myself to start that earlier, like to set my expectations for myself or for what I'm capable of, allowing the ceiling for dreaming to be higher.
Yeah.
I think that I would try and encourage myself to dream like on larger scales, like I used to when I was walking home from school, like listening to music and imagining myself with like a choreographed dance show and lights and whatever, like, and then believe that those things are cool and possible, instead of always like within the perfectionist realm trying to like stay in a really tight thing out of fear of being like bold or whatever.
Right.
Like stay in the course, I think, maybe of your own like dreams, I think.
Yeah.
Same within love. Like I think when you look back and I think about all the relationships I've had that have been upsetting or ended well or not well, but they ended. And then, it's so easy in the moment, like to look back and say, well, in hindsight, all those relationships were meant to go that way. So now I can be in this one. And I feel like that's the exact same with like creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I wish that I could go back and tell myself to go with both of those flows.
Yeah.
Like not resist the endings or resist the failures or whatever, because they were all going to go to wherever they were going to go anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Trust the process.
Yeah. I feel like if there's one thing I have gotten better, not done, but like better at, it's understanding that all stuff happens for some sort of purpose, even if the purpose feels negative in the moment. It's like gonna go somewhere. It's just like redirecting you to whatever. I think it's easier for us to understand that when we put it in love terms or like relationship terms, but for some reason it's harder to feel that way with your like career and shit like that.
Building blocks. Everything is a building block to the next thing.
Yeah, I think that's so weirdly difficult to grasp when you're young.
Yeah, all or nothing, sort of like.
Yes, yeah.
You either fail or you don't.
You succeed. Yeah, totally.
Black and white. We're going to leave it there, Leanne.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming over.
Having me.
That's it for today's episode of Sour Notes. Huge thanks to Leanne Hoffman for sharing with us. You'll find all links to our guests in the show notes. If this episode resonated with you, you can follow us on Instagram at SourNotesPod. And don't forget to leave a review. It helps more musicians find the show. See you next time. Sour Notes is a Flipped Canoe production, editing by me, Roxanne Putvey.